Hello, everybody. I'm Deion Blackman, a counselor, and this is Lillian Turzanski,
Turzanski, yeah.
our Cold Lake First Nations nurse. Today is Wednesday the 7th, and we're here to give you another COVID-19 update for the nation. So right now, currently, we have 0 cases on the nation, and due to a rise in the variants, we are back to phase 1, according to the Alberta government. And currently right now our restaurants are only takeout and patio only. Gyms are back to one-on-one training. So a lot of our restrictions that have been in place for a long time are currently being put to a priority due to the increase of the variants that have risen up. And during this time, we really ask that everybody continue to stay in their homes and not visit anybody that is not within their close relatives and your one allotted contact, because of the spread of the new variants.
The high transmissibility.
Yeah, the high transmissibility. It is very easily transmitted from one person to another, and you really have no idea where it comes from. And take it from me, I had no idea where it really came from. I actually did end up contracting COVID-19, and let me tell you, it is a very serious illness, and it will take a lot out of you. And I'm a healthy person by some standards, and I was pretty sick through the entire time. So it is a very serious illness, and everybody needs to take precautions.
Absolutely. So I think you brought up a good point. So when the Alberta government released the new restrictions yesterday, there's really not much here that changes on the nation. So just to maybe review a little bit, our restrictions that have been in place since December have been no household gatherings. So other than the people who live in the home, those are the only ones who should be in your home. You are allowed up to 10 people outdoors at a social gathering because you have the ability to social distance. And being outdoors actually helps to reduce the transmissibility of the COVID-19 virus. So I encourage people that if you do plan to get together, please go outside to do that, and don't have any indoor component to that. So if they're running in to use the washroom, there's still, a big risk there of fomites getting onto surfaces and then those being able to transfer to other people. So if you're planning an outdoor gathering, please keep it all outdoors if at all possible. The restaurants, again, we don't have any restaurants here on reserve, so that really doesn't affect us other than, the one little freedom that we did have is now taken away again, which really sucks. However, that being said, we have a path forward now. So I'd like to maybe speak a little bit to vaccinations here on the nation. We have given and administered now 335 doses to date. We have gone through our most vulnerable group, that 65 and up group. We've offered vaccines to our chronic people who have chronic disease, and we've been working now at our 50 and up group. They've been a tough nut to crack, and so that being said, I don't want to have vaccines sitting in my refrigerator, guys. It does nobody any good at all sitting in my refrigerator. I need these vaccines into people's arms. So we asked yesterday for the blessing of Chief and Council to open up our age groups a bit. And so we are going to be offering now the 30 to 49-year-old age group and up, 30 to 49 and up. If you have not received your COVID-19 vaccine yet and you wish to do so, please give us a call at the health center. You can call, book with our girls at the front desk, 780-594-2473. We can get you into our very next clinic, which is actually coming up on April 15th, next Thursday. It will be in the evening to accommodate those people who are working. It will be going on from 2 until 7 o'clock p.m. If for some reason that time doesn't work for you, call us. We will find a time and a date that's going to work for you. I want to make sure that every person on this nation who wants a vaccine gets a vaccine, and that's what we're working really hard to do. That being said, again, this is our path forward. We have run the marathon, right? Like, we have done the pandemic marathon for a year. And I think we're all really sick of COVID. And so we just want this to be over with. So now we're in a foot race to the finish. And that foot race is between the vaccines and the variants. So we have had variant cases on our reserve. In fact, our last few cases, I would say the last 14 cases have been variant cases. So they have completely taken over from what was, the first wild type of COVID-19 that we saw in our nation. The variants have now truly taken over. So what does that mean for the community? Well, not much has changed. If you have COVID-19, whether it's a variant or not, you're going to be quarantining at home. And you're going to be quarantining longer if it is a variant in your household. So an example of that would be, let's say, parents of children who have contacted a variant at school. Because quite honestly, that age group or that demographic has changed. We're seeing COVID in the younger population now, and it's because the older population has been immunized. So that just shows you the effectiveness of vaccinations, right? That whole demographic shift. But that being said, so if we have children in the household who get a COVID variant, they're going to be isolating for their 10 full days while they're sick. The parents are going to be isolating along with them. And then unfortunately, the parents then need to also do, anybody in that home who is not tested positive will need to do an additional 14 days at the end of that quarantine period. So worst case scenario, you're going to be in quarantine for 24 days. So like I said, it's crappy. It's what we've got left to deal with, and we're going to move forward on that basis. We have a way out, and that way out is vaccines, and all I can do is ask for the community to come in and get their vaccines done. That's our way out of this, and that's our way to get back to grieving normally, celebrating normally. I miss shaking people's hands and giving people hugs. I miss having a meal with people. So if we want to achieve that, we need to achieve at least a 75% vaccination rate here on the nation.
Exactly. We need a huge amount of our members to go and get vaccinated if we're to slow this pandemic down and keep everybody safe, because these vaccines have a very high percentage rate of keeping you safe. And if we do this quicker, we can be rid of this pandemic a lot easier, and we won't have to have masks on all the time, and we'll be able to visit each other. Thank you.
Just get on with life and be normal, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's what we're all just striving for. So here on the nation, we're offering the Moderna vaccine. That is the only vaccine that we have in our nation right now is Moderna. That's the only one that I foresee in the near future that we will have. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the AstraZeneca vaccine right now. There's a lot of talk about, its association with blood clots. I am not familiar with the AstraZeneca vaccine. I do know that there's currently studies in place and going on right now in regards to that, but it's not even in our mix of vaccines right now here for our nation. In fact, we've got probably the top vaccine available to our nation members. And again, it is a 2-dose vaccine. It's a pain in the butt to have to come back for the second dose, but that second dose helps you to achieve about a 94 to 96% efficacy rate. So, and it is 100% effective against severe forms of the disease and against hospitalizations. And that's what we're shooting for. We're never going to see COVID zero, okay? I think we need to approach COVID much differently than what we have in this past year. I think we have to realize that it's going to be around us for a long time. And the only way that we're going to be able to deal with this effectively is through vaccinations and getting that herd immunity, right? So that those who can vaccinate and do vaccinate help protect those who don't. But we do need to achieve a certain percentage of people getting that vaccine in order to do that. So I just ask people, please have an open mind. I get vaccine hesitancy and I get where it comes from. Over the course of the last 2 months in delivering the vaccines, had a lot of opportunity to talk to our elders. And they shared stories about, what happened in residential schools and how vaccinations were given in residential schools. And I get where that hesitancy comes from, because there was a lot of abuse that happened in those schools. And a lot of really bad memories around that. But I do want to say that, things have changed a lot in the last 60 to 70 years in how we deliver vaccines. It is entirely your personal choice. I will force absolutely no one to get a vaccine. If you want it, come and get it. But that being said, please, realize that vaccines have come a long way. I remember when I first started nursing back 24 years ago, there was a lot of stuff, there used to be a lot of reactions with vaccines. But vaccine technology has come a long way, and the technology in particular that went into this vaccine is phenomenal. This actual vaccine is called an mRNA vaccine. It is a messenger RNA. It has absolutely nothing to do with your DNA. I've seen a lot of information out on social media, a lot of misinformation out there. This does not in any way attach to your DNA or change your DNA. All this does is when I give you a vaccine, I'm giving you a set of instructions. And that set of instructions, your body unpackages it, says, hey, it's an instruction manual, reads it, it builds the spike protein that your body recognizes as something that shouldn't be there, and it begins to generate antibodies. And that is an immune response. That's exactly what we want to have happen. There is actually no live component, no component at all of COVID-19 in the vaccine itself. So it is impossible to get COVID-19 from the vaccine. But what you do get is after that first dose, 70% efficacy, which is going a long way to protecting our nation. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns about the vaccine, please call us. Speak to any one of our nurses. We are very well voiced on this by now. We've gone through this 335 times with different people. So we will give you the information that you crave. Please just give us a call.
Yes, the second you feel any sort of symptoms, from lightheadedness to a slight stomach ache, maybe a headache, a slight sniffle, a cough, anything very minor can be a sign that your symptoms are starting. And don't hesitate to give them a call. They're available during the week, and it's very easy to get this test done. It's very non-invasive, and the results will get back to you very fast.
I'm glad you brought that up, because our testing right now is like way down, and that is either really good or really bad. So it worries me when people aren't coming to get tested. Like you said, sometimes it just starts with a sniffle or a headache. You know what? If you have any of that, please come in and get tested. Mm-hmm. If you can't come in, let's say you live in town, we can absolutely arrange for you to go through 811. I've helped people go through the system and book their own appointments through 811. Any way that we can get you testing, we'll absolutely do that. And it is totally uninvasive. It's a quick throat swab. At most, it gives you a little bit of a gag reflex, but it does not hurt. It does not do any damage to your throat. It is just simply a little quick swab in the throat. And our results, turnaround time on those results have been about 24 hours. So it's been really good. We have actually gotten into the health center now a rapid testing unit. We are currently still working on updating all of our staff to operate that unit, so we haven't put it into play yet. There is a lot of, like I said, a lot of different pieces that we need to finish in order to get that up and running. But again, we've managed very well here on our nation. We have never been to the point where we have been overwhelmed at our health services. And I think that goes to people actually adhering to the guidelines. And I want to thank people for that, because of that, we haven't been overwhelmed, and we haven't gotten to a point where we've needed to call in, for more help. And I think that says a lot about the nation and how seriously people have taken this. And kudos out to them, because we have now gotten down to 0. We have had no deaths on this nation. And there's other nations who are struggling immensely with both disease and deaths. So I count ourselves as very lucky. But that being said, we can't let down our guard. So right now we need to double down. We have, 2 months to the end of this thing. I hope we'll have her done before then. If you guys allow me and you want to come in and get your vaccines, I'm rolling them out as quickly as I possibly can. Because an end to this means an end to all of these restrictions and getting life back to normal again. And that's what I look forward to the most. And I'm sure you all do as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
I just want to thank everybody who's taken this year and been able to stay with their families and stay safe at home. We really appreciate you guys taking it seriously and having to sacrifice many parts of your lives for this vaccine, or sorry, for this pandemic, so that hopefully one day we can get rid of it using the vaccine. And I just want to thank you all again, and thank you, Lillian, for coming
welcome.
today and helping us update. Have a great day, everybody. Masicho.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.